Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, I'll be refuting one of the contentions to the Kalam cosmological argument, uh, namely, this is something that atheists do, that they claim that metaphysical impossibility is irrelevant and only strict logical contradictions matter. Right now, initially, I thought I'd make a large video with all of the contentions to the Kalam cosmological argument, but it was too long, so I have decided to make short videos where I address each of the atheist contentions in turn regarding this argument. Now, this contention is related to arguments, philosophical arguments for the beginning of the universe. Simply put, most of those arguments have metaphysical impossibility, but atheists try to make a criteria that doesn't matter, only strict logical contradictions matter, and inshallah I'll refute it today. Firstly, what is the contention? Infinity is widely accepted in mathematics. Because of that, and there are no strict logical contradictions in most cases. Because of that, the existence of an actual infinite is possible. Hence, the argument for the impossibility of an actual infinite fails. Now, what are the problems with this contention, right? There are basically three or four. Firstly, something not having a strict logical contradiction does not equal it being metaphysically possible. And there are certain examples showing this point. The first example is basically, firstly, let me explain what a metaphysical impossibility is, right? Inshallah, in this slide, I'll do that. Firstly, understand this point. This is an arbitrary criteria that atheists are just making up. Now, and actually, it's just based on nothing but value judgment, nothing more. Now, arguments matter, right? Arguments have value, but when we are discussing what is true or what is rational, right, value judgments are worthless, and this criteria is only based on value judgments, it is worthless. Now I'll show you that metaphysical impossibility is actually a real thing, and it is directly relevant in matters of infinity. This is a very simple example. Let's suppose you start counting from 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, right? On and on. Will you ever reach infinity? No. Why? Because any number that you reach, there will always be a bigger number ahead of it. So you can never reach infinity. This is something actually even atheists will agree to, like Malpass. In the atheist documentary, he agreed to this point. Now, there are no strict logical contradictions in you reaching infinity. There is no logical contradiction in that. Yet, it can never happen. It is impossible because, as you have seen, any number you reach, there will always be an infinite many numbers ahead of it. So, there is no strict logical contradiction in it, yet it is still impossible. This is metaphysical impossibility, and this is directly related to the matters of infinite. So, an atheist tries to claim, right, we should ignore metaphysical impossibility. Why should we ignore it when it is clear cut? And in fact, it is so easily proven even in matters related to infinity. Right? This is not some general vague thing. This is directly related to matters of infinity, and here metaphysical impossibility is so clearly proven. Now, this was the first refutation of this claim, right? There are two other issues with this claim. First, the existence of negative numbers. Like infinity, negative numbers are widely accepted in mathematics, right? No one will deny this point. Yet negative numbers cannot exist metaphysically in reality. Think about this point. Can negative 2 people carry a table? Can negative 2 people do something? Can negative 2 balls exist in reality? No. So this is another case of something that is mathematically possible, right? But it's not metaphysically possible. It can't exist in reality. A third contention, and To be honest, this was actually quite funny. In the first atheist documentary, right? These clowns tried to claim that different sizes of infinity exist, and somehow this isn't an issue. Actually, this claim refutes them massively, and I'll give a very simple reason for it. Uh, Basically, there are different sizes of infinity, right? Aleph 0, Aleph 1, Aleph 0, Aleph 1, Aleph 2, Aleph 3, on and on and on. Now, among all of these points, right, only Aleph 1 can exist in reality, or Aleph 0. It's not possible for any of the higher Alephs to exist in reality, and I'll give a very simple reason. The number of continuous points in space-time, right? I got this from William Lane Craig, and I don't think atheists tried to, in the second documentary, atheists tried to challenge this, and I don't think Craig has a reason to lie about this. The number of continuous points in space-time, right, is Aleph 1. So let's say there was an infinite number of balls, bats, cards, tables, etc. that cannot be greater than Aleph 1, because the number of points in space-time is Aleph 1 and there won't be any more space for anything to occupy more than that. So the higher Alephs, right, they clearly exist in mathematics. There's no question about this. Yet they cannot exist in reality because the number of continuous points is Aleph 1. Nothing greater than that can exist in reality because there won't be any space for it. So even if you take the point about size of infinity, right, this actually proves my point that just because something is possible in mathematics does not mean it's possible in reality, because all of the Alephs higher than Aleph 1 are not possible in reality. Again, I don't think there would be any strict logical contradiction in this, yet it's still metaphysically impossible. Inshallah, I hope today in this video you have seen that the atheist contention is actually quite pathetic. It's arbitrary, it's based on a criteria that is made up without any assumptions, and it is easily refutable. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum.